You got to move beyond fantasy. So what do we do instead of positively biased predictions? The truth is, you are a certain way. You have thoughts, opinions, you live your life, you have preferences. You got to find out what those are. They come forth in consciousness. You've got to know and honor them. They're part of your sense of self. And we give up ourselves when we don't honor them. That's the truth. What are you going to do instead? You're going to make decisions for your life based out of who you are. Based out of what you know and what your preferences are and what your predilections are. That's what you're going to do. Number 48. The next cognitive distortion is cheating on your goals based on positive behaviors you plan to do later. For example, you're going on a diet Monday. Today is Sunday, so I'm going to overeat today. All right? But often, I want to tell you, the planned positive behaviors do not happen. So we've got to get real about this. Don't bank on the future. The only thing that matters is this moment. You've got to be conscious about this moment. You've got to know what you're having a tendency to do. Sometimes you might have to substitute. It's why, if you're going on a diet and your intention is to lose weight, just for as a by example, why sabotage it and gain more weight today if we're going to go on a diet tomorrow? That's very self-sabotaging. The truth is, we need to be consistent. If we have to lose weight, let's be real. We need to lose weight. That starts right this minute. If we want to learn something, we don't want to learn it in the future, it starts right this minute. If we want to make more money, you've got to expand your talents, and finding out what they are starts right this minute. It's time for right this minute. The future never comes, because the future is the future. If you're manifesting money, or manifesting a new job, or manifesting a car or a house or anything you want to manifest, if you say it will happen, it won't happen, because will is always in the future. Everything is right now. Whether you see it in reality, in substance like this pen or not, it exists in reality, but you'll only know that when you are merging with the ascended God you are, with that aspect of the ascended God you are. Because you've got to think like God. And God says, this pen, whether you see it or not, exists for you if you want it. And that's how to bring energy to substance. This has everything to do with your creating reality right now in this moment. Number 49. Repeating the same behavior and expecting different results. Or thinking, and this is part of it, that doubling down on a failed strategy will start to produce positive results. And this is one of the reasons, by the way, that last point is one of the reasons why we do the same thing over and over and over and over again, why we live the same patterns. You bring in the wrong person every time as a potential partner, the wrong person every time, the wrong person every time. And then you're so disgusted with that, you double down on your efforts to choose the wrong person over and over again, and it just gets worse. Yes, that is the definition of insanity, repeating the same behavior and expecting different results. Einstein said you can't do the same thing and expect a different result. You have to change your thinking. Another image about that. Just as you are right now, whatever it is, and however happy you are, you've written a script. Now, if you were writing a script for somebody beloved that you loved with all your heart, let's say something really innocent, either your little child or your grandchild or a dog or a cat that you love, let's put it in a super innocent category. Would you give them a hard life? Would you give them a life without abundance? Would you give them a life without gratitude, without knowing of a more spiritual experience? Would you hurt them? Well, that's interesting because you've done that to you. You've given them yourself negative thinking. You've given yourself all these cognitive distortions. Now, the point that I'm making with this is that script has an ending that always goes with that script. If you want a different end, you got to write a different script. You got to have to think different thoughts, feel different feelings. You're going to have to do something different physically. You're going to have to learn more and more and more and more spiritually. That's going to take you down and down. See, you can learn in spirituality, or you can just stay where you are and be comforted by that. But consciousness is about drilling down and absolutely knowing the way energy works beyond the comfort that it can give you in the beginning. Knowing's a precious thing. Makes you very resilient to anything that life has to offer. So, going back to this, you can't repeat the same thing and expect a different result. And to do this, you have to change the script. So we've just told you how. The truth is, change the script. And what you're going to do instead is you're going to change things up mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. You're going to drill down. You're going to see what else there is. You're going to think outside the box. And number 50, we've made it, is I can't change my behavior. I can't change my thinking style, is a belief that you can't in whatever way. This is a way of saying no to whatever you need to do in growth, change, and opportunity. We often say no before we say yes. You're not going to have a happy life. Now, am I saying say yes to the serial killer? I am not. I'm saying yes to all opportunities and then decide whether I want to say no. But here's the point. If you say no first, you'll never get around to saying yes. Say yes to all possibilities, and then on consideration, no. Not the other way around. Because you will never get to yes if you say no. Notice little things, if you're wondering whether you do this in your day. When somebody says, do you want this? Do you say no first or do you say yes first? Say yes. Train yourself to say yes. Yes to everything. There is absolutely nothing stopping you in life but your own thinking. That is very important for you to realize. You don't say, I can't, again. Take that out of your vocabulary. Now, here's what I promised you in the beginning. I'm not sure I'm going to even have time to read the list. So let me tell you what I wanted to tell you, and then I will read the list again with any time that we have left. You can find this 50 Common Cognitive Distortions by Alice Boyes, B-O-Y-E-S, Ph.D. And you can find that on the internet, so you can have your own copy of it. We've just taken it further. Okay. You might want to listen to all of these things. And again, I've repeated myself a lot, and I want to repeat myself a lot in this series because you really need to get it from a lot of different angles so you can see how it's affecting you. Okay. So, we did a test in my classes yesterday. I gave everybody not a test, but I gave them an assignment. I said, okay, for the next 20 minutes, and by the way, I'm going to tell you the secret of this that I did with them, but it wouldn't be bad for you to do. So I said, for 20 minutes, I want you to write in bullet point form what you think happiness is. What makes you happy? Bullet point form. Because that's something we've never considered. The whole world wants to be happy. But what is your version of it? And don't make it fanciful and don't make it impressionistic. I need literally, what are the items that make you happy in your life, in your day-to-day life, in your world? What are they? So, my class did this. They were wonderful, all right? And then I said, let's read that to each other. Let's really see, what your choices are here. And you know what? It was amazing. Because what Spirit wanted me to then say to them was, but you already have all those things, or almost all of those things. There was maybe a point or two that could be improved. So you're already happy. But why don't you feel it? Cognitive distortions, ladies and gentlemen. That's why you don't feel it. You're already happy. And you will prove it in that exercise. You already have everything on that list, or almost everything on that list. So having happiness, being happy, is different from feeling happy. And 50 common cognitive distortions, which we all do in a conscious or subconscious way, is the only reason that you don't feel happy. All right, that's a big deal. Here are the cognitive distortions. Let's see if I can do this in 12 or 13 minutes. Number 1, personalizing. Number 2, mind reading. Number 3, negative predictions. Number 4, underestimating your coping ability. Number 5, catastrophizing. Number 6, biased attention towards signs of social rejection and lack of attention to signs of social acceptance. 7, negatively biased recall of social encounters. 8, thinking an absence of effusiveness means something is wrong. 9, unrelenting standards. 10, entitlement beliefs. 11, justification and moral licensing. 12, belief in a just world. 13, seeing a situation only from your own perspective. 14, belief that self-criticism is an effective way to motivate yourself toward better future behavior. 15, recognizing feelings as causes of behavior, but not equally attending to how behavior influences thoughts and feelings. 16, all or nothing thinking. 17, shoulds and musts. 18, using feelings as a basis of a judgment when the objective evidence does not support your feelings. 19, basing future decisions on sunk costs. 20, delusions. 21, assuming your current feelings will stay the same in the future. 22, cognitive labeling. 23, the halo effect. 24, minimizing. 25, magnifying. 26, cognitive conformity and the herd mentality. 27, overgeneralizing. 28, blaming others and yourself. 29, falling victim to the foot in the door technique. 30, falling victim to the door in the face technique. 31, focusing on the amount saved rather than the amount spent. 32, overvaluing things because they're yours. 33, failure to consider alternative explanations. 34, the self-serving bias. 35, attributing strangers' behavior to their character without considering situational contextual factors. 36, failure to consider opportunity cost. 37, assuming similarity. 38, in-group bias. 39, you don't know what you don't know. 40, the tendency to underestimate how long tasks will take. 41, the belief that worry and overthinking will lead to problem-solving insights. 42, biased implicit attitudes. 43, the peak-end rule. 44, the tendency to prefer familiar things. 45, the belief you can multitask. 46, failure to recognize the cognitive benefits of restorative activities and activities that increase positive emotions. 47, positively biased predictions. 48, cheating on your goals based on positive behaviors that you plan to do later. 49, repeating the same behavior and experiencing different results. And expecting different results, sorry. And 50, I can't change my behavior, and the I can'ts in life. Oh, interesting. I think that the ones that you remember are the ones you ought to look at, even if you say, oh, I remember that one, but that's not mine. Look deeper, ladies and gentlemen. It's always important to look more deeply. That's what growing and learning, and by the way, discovering the opportunities that are intrinsic in that are. Now next week we're going to talk more about happiness. This leads us right into it. You are happy. These cognitive distortions are in the way. You remember what I said in the beginning, okay? Anything that makes you unhappy is one of these or more. And the more unhappy you are, the more cognitive distortions you're heaping on a single event that is neither bad nor good except for our judgment of it. Wow. Be careful of your emotional labeling and your emotional attachments to just an event. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I've enjoyed talking to you very much. Let's do a quick prayer. We'll be here next week as we talk about how to be happier and give you some stats about happiness that I think are really interesting. I've enjoyed talking to you. Thank you for sticking with me, even though we have trouble with technology from time to time. Let's do our prayer. Oh, may I ask you before the prayer, may I ask you to please share this and other shows that mean something to you. Please get the word around to your friends and on social media that we are here and that we're doing this work. Please visit the website as well, MarthaBurgessNovak.net. There are all sorts of offerings there. We have a couple of books that are really important, and we have an app that is for iPhones. Now we're coming out with a version for Droid. It's just not here yet. And you can find that on the App Store under The Teacup Prophecies. It is my second book, and it's a marvelous oracle for you. There will be another one day in the future, too. So we're looking forward to next week when we talk on a deeper way about some of these same things. All right. Dear God, who is all there is, you who are all we are, we thank you so much for our being together today and for this discussion of all of this. We now ask that you open our minds that we may see the truth beyond the distortions, and that we indeed make different choices for our lives and our thinking and our feeling and our doing and in our spiritual awareness. Open our minds past the familiar. We know without a doubt that we are safe in you. You and your energy is the one that lets us see all of life in context, makes us more resilient and flexible and adaptable. We open ourselves to this dear God and say we thank you so much for the opportunities that are in our lives right now, in our feeling, in our thinking, in our very beings. All you, all the ascended God that we are. We ask now that we move past these old ideas, and if we have not, show us that we have not, that we may not avoid this and not layer that we are somehow less than for doing this, but that we accept our humanness and our dearness as we, as I said earlier, find our way home to the you that we are as the aspect of the ascended God we are. We thank you so much as you open our minds, our very beings, to this message and to who we are in reality. We thank you so much, and we say this now in your name, in the name of the Ascended Masters, our love-centered guides and friends, and in the name of each and every person listening to the show today. We thank you, and we say it is so. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate everything. Please follow us, share us, like us. I don't know all the words for social media, but I'd appreciate you doing it because obviously you're better at it than I am because you tune in each week. We thank you so much for that. All right, I love you. I care about you. Now you remember that God loves you through you. For heaven's sakes, consider yourself and be kind to yourself and gentle to yourself. And don't use any ego child's mind excuses. It's human to do so. But let's move beyond them now. Okay? Love you. Bye.